What happened to Chipotle?
15 Chipotle has been on a roller coaster. Business plummeted following a series of foodborne illness outbreaks.
What's disgusting? Union busting! What's disgusting?
The workers
think they
there's like 7 people there. Chipotle sucks dick. Oh wait, I thought it said Chipotle sucks dick. Never mind.
figured out what made nearly 647 people sick at an Ohio Chipotle. Food temperature.
Since 2008, Chipotle has had 10 scandals regarding food poisoning, which has affected thousands of people, spreading diseases like hepatitis A, norovirus, E. coli, salmonella, and
maybe they were doing me a favor by never having my food there.
Clostridium perfringens. And those are just the outbreaks that made it to the news. Many of you probably know people who are food poisoned after eating at Chipotle.
No.
Or maybe it even happened to you.
Absolutely not.
Yet, despite all these red flags, Chipotle is doing better than ever.
Because it's good.
In the last 12-month period, Chipotle brought in $8.4 billion in revenue and ended up profiting $800 million. Similarly,
I will say, though, like a little bit of criticism about Chipotle is that how the fuck do you have steak and you don't teach the people that work there how to cut the steak? You're not supposed to cut the fatty pieces that connect the two pieces of meat together. Stop cutting up and putting gristle in the fucking steak bin. It's disgusting. Like, it's just so, it's the tendons. Yes, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you doing this? It's like you bite into it and you're biting into a fucking tire.
Turned it to over 3,000 locations across the U.S.
Makes me so mad.
And it's not just their fundamentals that have been doing well either. Chipotle stock has also held up extraordinarily well throughout the recession.
You're goddamn
being
right
down
it has.
only a mere 20%.
Delicious.
This pegs Chipotle's valuation at $41 billion, which nearly makes them a top 10 food brand in terms of market cap.
Yep.
For perspective, that's over 3 times larger than Domino's Pizza.
Well, because oh, shit.
Given their popularity, you would think that addressing their food poisoning concerns would be their top priority.
No.
And according to their PR, it is. But when we look at the facts, they don't look nearly as favorable for Chipotle. In fact, it actually looks like they're regressing, given that their outbreaks tend to affect more people today. For example, their first outbreak in 2008 affected 22 customers. Conversely, an outbreak in 2018 ended up affecting 700 people.
That's pretty bad. Wow.
At first glance, you might think that this is somewhat expected for a chain as large as Chipotle.
Yeah.
When you're serving that much food, you're bound to serve some that gets people sick.
Yep.
But
True.
this is actually not true.
What?
McDonald's, for example, has over 10 times the number of locations all over the world. Yet, their Wikipedia page only mentions the word outbreak once, and even that was in the context of describing the coronavirus outbreak. Conversely, Chipotle's Wikipedia page mentions the word.
Damn, bro, this is like, bro, this is probably longer than the Wikipedia page for the Black Plague. Holy shit. You know what's fucked up is like watching this makes me think, like the more I'm thinking of Chipotle, the more I'm thinking like maybe I should go there today, you know? Because I haven't been there for like 3 days.
Word outbreak a whopping 91 times. What makes this even more confusing is that Chipotle uses much of the same food supply chain as McDonald's. So what in the world is going on at Chipotle?
I'll tell you one thing that's going on. Everybody working at the store just sitting there watching YouTube videos. You got 12 people sitting behind there. 3 people are working. 9 people are chilling.
And why do so many people choose to eat there anyway?
Because it's good. That's why.
To understand what's going wrong at Chipotle, we first have to take a look at their origin, because there was a point in time when Chipotle wasn't synonymous with food poisoning. Granted, it's been quite some time. The story of Chipotle dates back to 1993
Wait, what?
to a man named Steve Ells. Steve was a classically trained chef who had a few years of experience working in the traditional restaurant industry as
Okay.
a sous chef. While this gig gave Steve some experience, he knew from day one that he wanted to open a fine dining restaurant.
Right.
Jumping to that
That's why
from
we have
just being a
Chipotle.
sous chef was quite a leap though. So, at age 28, Steve borrowed $85,000 from his friends and family and opened a small burrito shop instead in Denver, Colorado.
Fuck yeah.
Initially, he estimated that he needed to sell at least 107 burritos per day to be profitable.
Right.
But he ended up crushing this number.
Ooh.
By the end of the first month itself, Steve was selling over 1,000 burritos per day. This strong reception gave
God
Steve the
damn.
confidence to take out an SBA loan and open additional restaurants in Colorado. We can't
Hell
give
yeah.
Steve all the credit though, as he had substantial help from his father. You see, Steve's father was a wealthy pharmaceutical executive, and while he was hesitant to invest
Well, I mean, unless they putting drugs in the fucking in the burritos, like, what does that have to do? I mean, Steve can make a burrito. Like, was the dad telling him put a fucking Ambien in this one? They're gonna be coming back. Well, that doesn't matter to me.
ground zero. Once he saw these results, he became a mass investor, putting in $1.5 million.
Yeah, it's
Despite
smart.
having access to all this capital, Steve was in no rush to open up a bunch of restaurants
Mm-hmm.
or expand outside of the state for two reasons. For one, Steve strongly believed in keeping the business simple and straightforward.
It is.
And this is very much a core principle of Chipotle to this day.
That's right.
I mean, this is basically their entire menu.
That's right. They don't have a lot of shit on the menu. Like, my dad will always go to places and be like, what are their sides? Okay, how many sides do they have? Okay, do they have, like, what kind of dressing do they have for their salads? And I'm like, Dad, it's an In-N-Out burger. They got burgers and they got fries. That's it. Oh, they got a milk. You want a milkshake? No, you don't? Okay, all right, that's fine. Yeah.
And two, turning Chipotle into a nationwide giant wasn't never Steve's vision. His goal was to simply get some experience running Chipotle before switching over to fine dining. But by 1998, it was becoming extremely difficult to stick to this original vision,
Yeah.
simply due to how well Chipotle was doing. Instead of resisting it, Steve would simply embrace the change and go all in on Chipotle, opening their first restaurant outside of Colorado in 1998. Now that Chipotle was no longer just a local sensation, bigger investors would become interested, particularly McDonald's. McDonald's started off with a small stake,
McDrive. I
but
don't remember
they would
that.
end up making Chipotle into who they are today. Over the next 7 years, McDonald's helped Chipotle grow from 16 locations to over 500 locations
Holy
by investing a
fuck.
whopping $360 million, which gave them a 90% stake in the company. But
God
money
damn.
wasn't even the biggest asset that McDonald's brought to the table. Their primary contribution was, of course, their experience.
Yeah.
While McDonald's gets a bad rep for selling highly processed junk food,
Nah,
one thing
bro. No, I'm not gonna have any McDonald's slander in my chat today, okay? Like, everybody always goes and thinks they're too fucking good to eat at McDonald's. Number one, bitch, you're not. Number two, McDonald's is delicious, all right? Like, you go to McDonald's, you get some McNuggets, and you get yourself a drink. The McDonald's Cokes are the best. Now, I'm gonna let you know, the Big Macs are fucking stupid. Nobody wants a Big Mac. But they have such good nuggets. They remember the McDouble? Remember the Daily Double? It was $1. Now it's like, $19, but back then it was $1. It was delicious, man. Absolutely fucking delicious. McDonald's is amazing.
can't argue with is that they're exceptional at selling said food.
They sure
They've
are.
honed in everything
it's
from
good.
marketing and franchising to the supply chain and food safety.
That's right.
And this expertise was very much evident in Chipotle's flawless growth from 16 stores to 500 stores. But unfortunately for Chipotle, McDonald's would not stick around forever.
Why
While McDonald's was crushing it with Chipotle, the same could not be said about their own business. During the dot-com crash, McDonald's stock would sell off 75%.
Well,
and
this is because they hadn't innovated it hardly at all. Like this was back whenever McDonald's only sold junk food, and like in like the 2000s, like right about like here, like when was this? Yeah, 2003, somewhere around here. This was never everybody like remember that's whenever Super Size Me came out. And as soon as that thing came out, everybody was like, "Oh my God, we're eating this food and we're getting sick, and everybody's fat that eats Chipotle and or not Chipotle, that eats McDonald's, and we got to pay attention to what we're eating." So then McDonald's went, and then remember they had the chicken selects. Remember then they had like all of these different salads and shit like that. Yeah, the documentary. Well, no, that was it. The documentary was called Super Size Me by Morgan Spurlock. We watched this in school eating McDonald's. There it is. That was 2004 or something like that. Yeah, and I remember but around that time, people were talking about this is whenever people started realizing like fast food wasn't healthy and shit. I remember this. It was awful.
Would take them
documentary was bullshit. Yeah, it was bullshit.
While much of this was simply due to the state of the economy, McDonald's executives decided that they had to stop spending so much effort on relatively small investments like Chipotle and instead focus on their own growth. So, in 2006, they decided to take Chipotle public and sell off their entire stake. Despite all the selling pressure, Chipotle went on to have an extremely successful IPO. Before going public, Chipotle actually raised their IPO price twice.
Damn.
But even with that, Chipotle ended up rocketing 100% during their first day as a public company.
God damn.
This made Chipotle the second best restaurant IPO since the dot-com crash.
It makes sense because it's so
strong support
good.
From investors made it seem like Chipotle would have a smooth time even without McDonald's. But almost immediately, you could see the consequences.
Wait, what's wrong?
Just 2 years after McDonald's left, Chipotle would have their first notable health crisis in March of 2008.
Whatever.
A Chipotle location in La Mesa, California would be linked to 22 cases of hepatitis.
I mean, like, who gives a shit about this? Bro, the food is so good. Like, yeah, nah, bro, like, come on.
Just 1 month later, Chipotle would have yet another
hepatitis
outbreak.
is bad.
This time, the disease was norovirus, and it ended up infecting 440 people.
Nah, bro.
So, what in the world happened within
this shit didn't
months?
happen.
Well, one of the most notable points was Chipotle's trend towards decentralization. I don't think you'd be surprised to hear that McDonald's was a strong proponent of centralized operations. Virtually all of their ingredients come from mass distributors like Keystone Foods.
Yeah.
Every year, Keystone Foods alone delivers 150 million pounds of beef, 300 million pounds of chicken, and 15 million pounds of fish to McDonald's. While this style of supply chain raises a lot of questions regarding animal treatment, preservatives, and GMOs,
What how we get to the dock? Hey yo, so like what are we trying to say here? Yeah, what are we trying to get here?
one thing that's not in question is consistency. When all of your food comes from one location, it's all gonna be the same. More importantly though, a simplified supply chain makes it easier to maintain quality and identify issues quickly. Given that much of Chipotle's entire brand is built around simplicity, you would think that Steve would stick to a centralized supply chain, but he actually had other plans. You see, Steve had caught sense of a larger food trend which pushed people to ditch junk food and eat healthier.
Bro, see, that's it. That's the Super Size Me thing. Yeah, exactly. I remember this.
An opportunistic businessman, Steve decided to jump onto this trend of producing, quote-unquote, organic, locally sourced food.
Oh, so that's why they don't have any fucking food. So everything is explained now. Because they're sitting here, oh, it's sourced locally. Well, yeah, that's why it's not there. Yeah, actually, no, now everything fits together. Fuck, man, this is awful.
Looking back, this was a perfect choice in terms of their marketing and branding, and it's also the ethical choice. This turned out to be a nightmare in terms of quality control.
That's true, because I've been there so many times. Like every time that I go there and they have every ingredient that I want, I feel like I just won the lottery.
Today, Chipotle tries to source as many ingredients as possible from within a 350-mile radius. While this locally grown produce idea sounds great on paper, there is a reason that mega food corporations shy away from this idea. It's because it's virtually impossible to maintain standards across thousands of suppliers.
Yeah,
and
of course.
Chipotle would figure this out the hard way. This decentralized supply chain also put a lot of strain on Chipotle stores because their stores were built to operate in the exact opposite manner, with simplicity. Chipotle locations don't have any freezers, microwaves, or even can openers.
Why would they not have can openers? Oh, I guess they don't have any cans. Yeah, I guess that would make sense. Fresher equals riskier, yeah.
This means that the staff have to take on a lot of responsibility when it comes to preparing the food. Given that it's a restaurant, you would think that this would be a given.
No.
But it's not. Most fast food places structure their business such
See, this
that
is just like it, because, look, there's 2 people working, 2 people talking. This is exactly it, yeah. And they're just talking, they're chilling, like there's nothing on the grill, they're not doing nothing. Yeah, this is an actual, just your average Chipotle, you know, like worker, you know, breakdown here. You got 2 of them working, 2 of them doing nothing.
fast food workers don't have to do much preparation. Basically, everything comes pre-made, meaning that the workers simply have to heat up the food or assemble it. Chipotle workers, on the other hand, are literally given raw ingredients. I mean, they literally make the food in front of you. This would be okay if we
Well, they don't make it in front of you. Like, if you ever been to one of these, like there's like the food that they have ready, and then behind them, there's like these dudes on a grill, and then they're grilling and cutting the food.
We're talking about an actual sit-down restaurant filled with experienced staff. But most Chipotle locations are run by young adults and
Myth was there? Wait, what?
on the other hand are literally
Wait, what?
workers simply have to heat up the food or assemble it. Chipotle
That is Myth, isn't it? That is him. Holy fuck. Wow.
workers, on the other hand, are literally given raw ingredients. I mean, they literally make the food in front of you. This would be okay if we were talking about an actual sit-down restaurant filled with experienced staff. But most Chipotle locations are run by young adults and high school students.
Yeah, that is true. And this goes back to what I was saying before, is that whenever you go to Chipotle, people are just chilling. That's about it. Yeah, this is what I said.
So there's
That's
a
logic,
massive
yeah.
learning curve. In 2015 and 2016, during the worst of Chipotle's outbreaks, Chipotle actually spent a lot of effort on strengthening their training programs. But this quickly led them to yet another issue.
What's wrong with young adults is because they're stupid. That's what's wrong with them. They're stupid. And they mess stuff up. That's right.
Employee turnover. Just as employees start to get the hang of things, they leave.
Exactly,
In 2021, Chipotle's turnover rate was 194%. This means that the average employee barely sticks around for 4 months, which is not that surprising given that it's a near minimum wage job.
Yeah, of course.
Chipotle has tried to
Why would you
combat
wanna
this
work
by
there?
handing out cash and stock bonuses, offering maternity/paternity coverage, and even offering life insurance and short-term disability. But none of this can change the fundamental fact that, in the end, it's still a fast food job. And this
It is.
is really the story of Chipotle as a whole. They're trying to do all these great things like sourcing local food and promoting healthier options. But they're still a fast food place, and they have to deal
No, it's better though.
with all of the limitations that come along with that.
No.
And these issues are only made worse by seemingly negligent leadership. While Steve started Chipotle with a great passion for food, it seems that over the years, he has become much more interested in the money. In fact,
Bro, don't blame this on Steve. It's not Steve's fault. What do you mean it's Steve's fault? Didn't you say McDonald's bought a 90% stake and then they sold it on the open market? Which means that he's not even remotely close to majority shareholder? What the fuck? He's got no voice in this. It's not his decision. It's a publicly traded company. He's got a fiduciary responsibility to make profit for the shareholders. It's not his fucking fault. Who are you putting this on Steve for? You see what I'm saying?
Chipotle is infamous for
What
paying
the
their
hell?
executives ridiculous sums of money. Back in the early 2010s, Chipotle paid out $300 million to their co-CEOs. These guys were earning FANG CEO-type salaries, even though Chipotle was pulling in less than 1% of the revenue of companies like Apple or Google. Not to mention,
That was an L.
their profit margins were way lower as well. Shareholders did eventually put their foot down and refuse to approve such compensation packages.
Smart.
But this just goes to show where the executives' priorities really were.
The state of Chipotle. Chipotle.
Considering all
sorry.
this, why in the world do people continue to eat at Chipotle?
It's good. After watching this video of E. coli, hepatitis, and food poisoning, I will probably go to Chipotle tomorrow. Until I get sick eating Chipotle, I will go there.
Well, the answer is simple. As this Quora user puts it, Chipotle actually serves real food, or at least realer food than other fast food joints.
No,
Real food
it's
comes
because it's
with
good.
real flavors that create a unique appeal, but they also come with real risk. The only
Yeah.
way to avoid this risk is to cook yourself, spend a fortune on eating out, or eat highly processed bland foods. And given that most people are 1. Too lazy to cook themselves, 2. Not rich enough to eat out at 5-star restaurants regularly, and 3. Want something more than McDonald's or Burger King junk, they flock to something in the middle, which
Burger King is not junk. What do you mean? It's not. No, it's not. It is not junk. No, it's fucking not. It's not mid. It's not. No, it's fucking delicious. Burger King is like an S tier restaurant. If it's not S, it's got to be at least high A. It is. Burger King is so good, man. Their fries are good. Their burgers are good. It's straight up junk food? No, it's not. No, Burger King is different. You could say that maybe about McDonald's hamburgers, but not Burger King hamburgers.
just so happens to be Chipotle. So Chipotle's greatest strength is also their biggest weakness.
That's good they put it
and
next
they
to a
only have
GNC. That way, you know, whenever you get food poisoning or you get sick, you can just go next door and get what you need to fix it. That's smart.
options moving forward. They can re-centralize like the legacy competition, or they can try to fix what they already have. It's clear which side Chipotle has chosen, and looking at their fundamentals, it's working out just fine.
Exactly.
Are you a fan of Chipotle?
Yeah. It's like, I mean, they got good food. Yeah, maybe you can get E. coli, but like, what are really the odds of that? I mean, how many times, like, do people go to Chipotle? Like, how many E. colis have there been? I mean, like, it's a very low chance. It's a very 50%. Yeah, true. It either happens or it doesn't.
Comment that down below.
Yeah,
Also,
very low.
Drop a like if you're a fan of real food. And of course,
I'm not.
consider checking out our Discord community to suggest future video ideas and consider subscribing to see more questions.
What do you mean the
logically
fall of
answered.
Coca-Cola?
Until then, I'm Hari, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
Yeah, I'm a mega Chipotle fan. Go Chipotle 4 out of 7 times a week since 2018. Haven't gotten sick once. There it is, brother. Yep, true. I don't give a fuck. I go to Chipotle all the time. I'm not going to hear any of this motherfucking bullshit. Yeah, maybe someplace in Ohio had E. coli. We never, ever had something like that happen at my Chipotle. They would never do that at my Chipotle. So we're going to keep going to Chipotle. It's still going to be good. And if I ever do get sick, I'll probably blame it on something else and I'll keep going. So that's what's going to happen. This week I got hepatitis A? Yeah, sure. Yeah, my local Chipotle had maggots in a salad one time. Okay. Okay. Like, all right. One time. How many times you been there? Probably 1,000 times. You go there one time. Yeah, so what? What's this here? Food is good and real. You can tell this is rice, beans, and meat. Yeah, exactly, man. Chipotle's commitment to using organic ingredients compared to McDonald's preservatives is a double-edged sword. True. The only thing I really dislike about Chipotle is inconsistent servings. So the thing is that whenever you ask, here's a trick. Whenever you ask for food, you have to make eye contact with the guy that's making the food, and you say, I want steak. And if you make eye contact with him, then he'll give you more. That's what, yeah, you have to do that. Yeah, I've learned that myself. What's this here? And a few stomach upsets from assault. Nah, it's bullshit. Even though you talk about food poisoning, this video is making me hungry. Well done, Chipotle. Yeah, same. The turnover at Chipotle is real. The way the food is served, the burrito made right in front of you, distinct bin, is very stressful for all the food prep employees. Because if the 10 for beans or chicken or guacamole isn't full for the customers, then the manager gets mad. Bro, I wish my manager got mad. Bro, where's my fucking manager, huh? Where's my man? Where the fuck is this? Yeah, when did this happen? Continuing keeping up with all that can be very unpleasant. Of course, you're rushing to cook. Yeah, true. Former food inspector here. Taco Bell has a far worse history when it comes to food. Nah, bro. That's not true. What's this here? After one big food poisoning, they sent out a coupon for free burrito. Yeah, I mean, that's cat. Everybody knows that shit's fucking fake, man. Oh, man, yeah. Yeah, that's so fake.